Got about a minute till we start. Oh man, is it still saying the wrong title? See if we can change that title. Alright, fixing that. I cannot believe I didn't change the title. Is anybody in here? Not yet. Oh. Capítulo 1, la introducción. Alright, hey, Jaded, how you doing? I just realized I did not change the title. Me. At one of these points, I'm gonna write a list of the things I need to do before, and then I'll remember to look at that list. Crystals, that's not an apostrophe there. I am also doing well, Jaded. Alright. Well, he's got somebody here, so I should probably get going. Alright. Welcome to the next chapter, where we left off. After we got back from our ship, we found an old village in a decrepit world. In that village, there was some skeletons and undead, and we fought the undead, but then ended up having to help the undead because they were trapped there due to a curse put on the town, and I helped them out of that town. Received a ceremonial dagger. And let me see, skills and tools, combat. Ceremonial dagger is set up correctly. These two are not, but I'm not going to do offhand or finesse. I'm just going to stick with ceremonial. I get a +7 to attack and a d6 +5 to necrotic damage. That should be fun. All right, with that, we are about to hop into the Crystals of Zaleth. Here we go. Chapter 1, Introduction. It's been most of a day's travel since the jungle rose up around you in a twist of green and brown filled with the sounds of strange beasts. The tangle of trees and vines acts like a living canyon on either side of the rough track that counts as a road. What little you can see of the sky overhead is a flat white overcast, a gentle promise of rain today. The humid air is heavy with the smell of flowers and fruit, and the hum of insects hangs just on the edge of your hearing. The heat is nearly overwhelming, and you are running low on water. But your contact assured you that your destination wasn't far. It's a relief knowing you'll not have to spend the night alone and in the open out here. As you force yourself through the air that seems to thicken with every step, you confirm once more that you have the map you've been hired to deliver, and that leads to the expedition you will join when you arrive. According to your contact, it's primarily a rescue mission following another team into the jungle. However, the understanding is that your group will also pick up where the last one failed in its search for a supposedly lost city of a powerful ancient civilization. With a healthy advance and an equal share of the treasure, all this discomfort may just be worth it in the end. Add 75 gold to your inventory. All right, inventory. Boop. Drop down the gold. Oh, gotta do math. 627. 627. All right. An especially loud trill calls out from somewhere among the trees and vines. You stop a moment and look for its source. Before I do that, I need to look up something. I know there's a shop. I gotta figure out when I'm allowed to go to the shop. The quartermaster is a burly man with a bald head crisscrossed with scars and small soft hands. He set out his offerings. Back of a wagon, the larger items lean against. Because I remember they don't let you shop if you lick things. I mean, what's the point in playing if you're not allowed to lick things, though? So start taking actions outside the story. Shop. Where's the shop? Rolling the dice. Inspiration count. It doesn't say anything. Alright, we're just gonna have to wing it. And hope someday I'll get a chance. Okay, so I should lick everything. I'm on it. Especially loud trill calls out from somewhere among the trees and vines. You stop a moment and look for its source, but it's hopeless in all the dense, dark plant growth to either side. It's hard to even tell what direction it came from. Then you round a bend and see a collection of wagons. Is this the right music? This sounds like action music. This is battle track. We don't want that right now. There we go. Click. What are we doing here? Stop. Stop it. Okay. It's hard to even tell what direction it came from. Then, you round a bend and see a collection of wagons. You've reached the expedition camp at last. But it seems that things may already be getting complicated. All right, that's how we start these. A group of ragged and roguish explorers is ringed on all sides by a troop of lizard folk with spears. The spears' obsidian tips glint in the late afternoon light as they are leveled at what you can only assume is the expedition you're supposed to meet. A human woman is standing 2 paces in front of the rest of the expedition. Her hands are raised in surrender, but her voice is also raised in anger. God damn it, she shouts. We have permission to be here. Do you understand me? We had a deal. One of the lizard folk, wearing a ceremonial necklace of multicolored feathers, lowers its spear tip slightly to address the woman in sibilant, labored common. No deal. Go now. All go now. No, no, no! The woman shakes her head in exasperation. We need to get in there. We have people in there. The lizard folk makes some reptilian noises through gritted teeth and moves its spear tip from the woman to point at the jungle instead. Need nothing. More need not go in there. The woman takes a step forward and opens her mouth again, but the ring of spears tightens around her. She draws her mouth into a tight line, glancing in both directions. She notices you and cocks her head with curiosity for a moment. In the moment it takes her to collect herself, a bearded orc in spectacles lays a thick-fingered hand on her shoulder. If I may, he says, without waiting for the reply, we are an academic expedition searching for the lost city of Zaleth. There is sharp intake of breath among the lizard folk, along with what sounds like hissed oaths. The spears point at him, and he gulps as he adjusts his collar. Well, I suppose that... He looks nervously around himself. His eyes settle on the woman. So, what do we do now? The tension ratchets up and seems to be reaching breaking point. I can draw my weapon, try to address the lizard folk, or try to get more information about the expedition. What shall I do? Jaded, it looks like the choice is yours. Oh, and Revo's here too. Oh. Should I draw my weapon, address the lizard folk, or get more information from the expedition? And not lick things. Or maybe lick things. We'll see how things happen. Let's see. Drinks in motion. You know. With the sword. I mean, that's always an option. Wonder if it, like... It's a... so I currently have a ceremonial dagger that does necrotic damage. I don't know if I should lick that. That's probably how it would happen. Or just confusion. I don't know. It might be more confusion than threat. I think Drinks in Motion probably would stumble forward. What's up, lizard folk? So the trick of drunken masters is they're not actually drunk. They just act drunk so that people can't get a good hold of what's going on with them. Unless you're Jackie Chan, then you just get drunk. I'm gonna go with. I think you would try to just talk to them. So what's going on here? Or she would. You turn to the lizard folk as a group. What? But your eyes fall on the leader with the multicolored feathers around its neck. With a dramatic clearing from your throat, all eyes turn toward you with an expression ranging from curious to hostile. You start with a greeting. Hey, I'm Drinks Immersion. Uh, but your eyes fall on the leader. You start with a greeting and introduce yourself as a member of the expedition. I'm here with them. When no one contradicts you, though, there are some confused glances. You continue by asking, what seems to be the problem here? When no one answers, you decide to try something else. Let's try to persuade. Skills. Skills. Persuasion. Alright. An 11 is not more than 15. Your efforts are met with blank stares from both the expedition and the lizard folk, threatening them. An awkward silence stretches for a beat before the woman speaking on the explorer's behalf looks back to the lizard folk's leader. Arm still in the air, probably. We are losing time, she says, and every minute we waste could be the difference between life and death for the first team. She draws a deep breath, cutting another look at you before continuing. So let me be very clear, the woman says firmly, and then points at the orc beside her. This is Gygar Garantham, a professor of antiquity of some renown, and I am Raija, a person of no renown, but leading this group to retrieve a missing expedition and complete their mission of discovery. The leader of the lizard folk opens his mouth to reply, but he's quickly cut off as Raija points at you. This is the last member of our team, arriving with critical information. We are now ready to depart. As per our agreement, you will be providing us with a safe passage and a guide. Or will you refuse to honor that deal? Oh, and quickly, please, says the orc identified as Gygar. We have much to do and little time in which to do it. Several of the lizard folk bare their teeth as Raja's uh, brusqueness, oof, that's a fun word, brusqueness, and the leader holds his silence as he stares down the haft of his spear at her. One of the lizard folk behind Raja and Gagar lifts his spear and strides directly at the two of them. His eyes burn with intensity as they look onto the expedition leader. The other crew of the expedition are so focused on the spear tips in their own faces that they don't notice the movement. But you have enough time to act. Lethal force could hurt your new companions, so do you rush in to grapple the attacker? Use a spell or ability to subdue the attacker, or wait and see what happens? What do y'all think? Should I grapple? What kind of ability might I have? Would it be under skills and tools? No. No spells. No, not really. Boost. I can use my boots of speed to run fast. Deflect missiles. What is the other gear? I have more inventory that's... A cautious dagger. That's... I'm no longer attuned to that. No, I am still attuned, but I'm not using it currently. Bracers of defense, no. Boots of speed, no. And the cautious dagger, no. Alright. No, I guess, do I wait to see what happens, or do I try to grapple? Do I just stand there? Or do I throw a random punch in there? Or a random grapple? What do y'all think? Let me know. No, it's this is saying that lethal force could hurt your new companions, so you could just rush in and grapple. Let's go with we'll try the grapple. All right. Grapple the attacker. You leap forward, past the shocked faces of both lizard folk and humanoids. Geiger cries out in fright, but Raja doesn't even flinch. A moment too late, some of the other lizard folk try to cut you off. You barrel past them. You barrel past them all at the lizard folk who broke. You barrel past them all at the lizard folk who broke rank and try to grab him. Athletics check. Come on. Come on. Wake up. Athletics, I gotta get a 14 or more. We got this. Nope. Got a 5. You try to grab hold of the lizard folk advancing on Rajan Geiger, but he slips your hold and even managed to plant the haft of his spear behind your leg, tossing you over it to the ground. The world spins for a moment as you go down, and then you look up. The spear is now pointed at your face. Most of the expedition has some pained expression on their faces, like a, ooh. But it feels like you were let off pretty gently. Are you all right there? Geiger asks. We don't care, Raja says to him. Then she turns to you. I can see what you tried to do, and it was very, very stupid. Brave, but stupid. She steps forward to help you up, as the killing blow never actually falls. The lizard folk warrior positions himself directly in front of Raja and pats a clawed hand on his chest. Zakah, he says. Zakah, guide you. Oh, how wonderful, Geiger says, and he looks as if he would have clapped his hands as if he hadn't caught himself. A local guide! That could make all the difference, eh, Raja? She purses her lips and nods, but her eyes remain on the guide. Zakah is sinewy and hunched over slightly. Few of the other lizard folk stand straight, but your guide appears especially bent under the weight of a stone tablet on his back. It doesn't seem to slow him down, however, as he seems light on his feet and handles his spear with an easy grace. Yeah, I noticed. Man. Geiger purses his lips around his tusks, looks back and forth between Raja and Zakah. Finally, he leans in to whisper to her. She listens and nods without ever taking her eyes off the lizard folk warrior. Welcome, Zakah, Raja says finally. We've been expecting you. Zakah's jaws part in what you can only guess is a smile. He turns to his tribe mates, speaking in a few sharp syllables. Though there are some holdouts, a command from the feathered chieftain makes sure everyone lowers their spears and begins to relax. The leader of the group does not seem happy about it. can't be disturbed, the chieftain says in parting. No. Find people, go home. Zakah taps a claw on his stone tablet on his back. The lizard folk's leader backs up, even making some deferential gestures. Eventually, he turns and the other warriors fall into line behind him. The lizard folk all blend into the jungle, leaving just Zakah behind with you. So, that's it then? Raja says as she returns to you. And now we have you too. And the map? You present her with the map you'd been assigned to deliver. Geiger scurries up to take it from you, rubbing his hands in glee. Ah, perfect, Geiger says, collecting the roll of oiled leather from you. This is the piece that I was missing for the last team. We'll find the city for sure. An expedition, Raja says. We'll find the expedition for sure. He looks up at her, blinking. Yes, that's what I meant, of course. Raja glances after the lizard folk, who have already disappeared into the jungle. She draws a sharp breath and lets it out with a sigh. You better come with me, she says says to you and beckons toward the camp. Now that the lizard folk are gone, the crew of the expedition breathe a collective sigh of relief. Though they continue to glance at the edges of the jungle, they continue about the tasks of setting up camp. With a grin straining at the edges of his mouth, Geiger takes the map you've brought into a covered wagon. Raja oversees the crew's efforts, tossing out casual orders and even the occasional good-natured insult, as she shows you through the camp. Thank you for delivering the map, she says. She continues, though you can't tell how sincere she is, and for your help with the lizard folk. Yeah, she's being sarcastic. Jerk. She gestures at a patch of damp earth next to a fire pit that's already been set up. Here's where you'll be tonight. As we travel, find a spot near the fire. You won't need it for heat, but you'll be thankful for the smoke when the mosquitoes come out. You thank her, and she nods. You'll get breakfast and supper with the expedition, she says, pointing at a pot hanging over an unlit fire. Then she hooks a thumb to a collection of crates and barrels. We have enough food and fresh water to last us weeks in the jungle, as long as we stick close to the roads. And the equipment for a base camp if we have to blaze our own trail from there. You let her know that you understand, and she nods again, though possibly more curtly. Now, this is where most people would ask if you have any questions, but I honestly can't be bothered. We wake up at dawn, and tomorrow you'll be coming with me to scout ahead. If you need anything, ask someone else. Okay. Clearly, your orientation has come to an end. Raja turns and strides off into the camp, leaving you to figure out what to do with yourself. Hey, Fawcett. Click. You make a quick circuit of the camp on your own. The expedition is well equipped for the jungle, even if you're not. Everyone is bent to their own preparations of the night, leaving you time to meet your comrades or explore. The expedition's quartermaster manages its resources, but also acts as a general store for its crew. Anytime you are in camp, you can purchase items and equipment by going to the quartermaster section at the end of the book. Just make note of which section you currently are on so you don't lose your spot. Alright. Or you could take a screenshot And quartermaster. Let's see here. Other potions. Potion of healing. I gotta get a few of those, and maybe antitoxin. Ooh, a magnifying glass for 100 gold? What a deal. Whip. That's a pretty cool whip. I think I'm going to go with the antitoxin and the potions of healing. 15 gold each. Well, not the whole time, only when you're in camp. And most of the time you were nowhere near the camp. But still, jaded, how dare you? Alright. So, let's see what I've got currently. Close that. 15 gold for each. Inventory. I thought I had some healing potions of healing. I have 2. Oh. 2 more would be 30. And then if I get some antitoxins. Item added. So that'll be 2 and 2 gets me to 60. Oh, darn, I gotta do math again. I don't have to do that if I have a calculator. $567. All right. Do those show up here now? Potion of healing is there. Drink an antitoxin. This vial is liquid. Give advantage on saving throws against poison for 1 hour. Unless you're undead. Alright, let's see here. Alright. Well, let's go look around. You can try to speak to Raja again anyway. Speak to Gygar, who is flipping through some books. Greet the lizard Zakah. Or speak to the various laborers and porters that make up the bulk of the expedition. Or none of that. So what are we going to do? Try to talk to her again? Talk to Gygar, Zakah, or the laborers? Never Gygar. Yeah, because we really know that they're the important ones in this expedition. You seek out the rank and file of the expedition. Laborers, porters, wagon drivers, and tradespeople. They have already started a fire with a stew bubbling away over it. As you approach, they greet you warmly, and one offers you a bowl to fill from the pot. Another person passes you a steel cup filled with warm, fresh water tasting mildly of tree sap. They banter among each other and with you, but there is a definite undercurrent of tension. Everyone occasionally glances at the edges of the jungle around camp, on the lookout for more dangers. The conversation eventually turns to the expedition itself. Mixed in with the bravado, it seems that the crew have some reservations about the journey that they aren't sharing. Roll a persuasion check. If you get more than a 10 or more, go to 7. All right, so we're trying to get a 10. Come on. It's a scene from like early season of Simpsons where it's a PTO meeting and the teacher's like, "Come on," is their persuasion thing. Anywho, I digress. Let's see what I get. 10 or more. Stop popping out. Not helpful. Persuasion, 10 or more. Boom, look at that. After some pressing, the crew open up. They are fearful, but Geiger seems to have deep pockets. He at least has aristocratic airs about him, but his posturing and self-aggrandizing might just be to cover up that it's certainly that not everyone will return from this expedition. Besides the poisonous snakes and roaming tribes of lizard folk, there's a creeping dread in the jungle. The crew complain in their own way about a nagging malaise, like they're just about to get sick, but haven't quite fallen ill yet. But that Raja knows what she's doing, says one of the wagon drivers. Aye, replies the cook. Quiet lady, for sure. But she's one to be reckoned with. And with you here too, adventurer. Maybe we'll all have a chance. A general murmur of assent passes around the crew. You make no promises as you finish your stew and then continue on with your evening. Alright, do we speak with Raja, Geiger, or Zakah now? Zakah. You approach the Ka, where he's sitting alone. The lizard folk warrior shows no interest in talking with you as he eats a large hunk of raw and not very fresh meat of unknown provenance. The tablet he was carrying on his back now rests on the ground beside him, and he is giving it his full attention. As he tears and gnaws at the meal gripped in one hand, his other hand is tapping along lines of text in an alphabet you cannot read. Let's do some insight. Ooh, I'm very insightful. Ish. I meant to say very insightful-ish. Go to 15 or less, go to 80. The lizard folk is about as expressive as the stone tablet he is tapping on. You have no idea what he's thinking, or even doing, other than slowly chomping away at a large, questionable piece of meat. Your presence does not go unnoticed, however. Zakah sees you and looks up from the stone tablet he's studying. I must not be disturbed, he says, and then taps at a particular word on his tablet. Then he turns back to his reading and his meal, ignoring you again. You back away from him before going off in search of another way to spend your evening. All right, Raja, Gaigar, or move along. Maybe I'll go to Raja next again because I'm stumbling around. I come across her before I go to the wagon. She's gonna probably punch me in the face. Ooh, inspiration. Let's see, did I add it to this page yet? I don't know if I did. I meant to. What are the three? Can I do 3 on this? No. Um, Inventory. Ooh, ooh. No, inventory. Be better. Make sure I didn't already do this. Inspiration, I did already do this, and I had one. Oh. Alright. You approach Raja, who has set out a bedroll on the ground like the rest of the crew. She's kneeling beside it, organizing a collection of odd-looking items. She appears to be cataloging them and repacking them, moving with well-practiced precision. Notable in the grid are 2 large glossy black crystals, a coiled rope of unusual quality, an impressive climbing axe, 3 stoppered vials, and at least a dozen small blue crystals faintly glowing against the fabric beneath them. As you approach, she looks up and meets your eyes as she immediately starts to collect her gear, looking for something. What? Whoa! Calm down. Roll for an Arcana. Ugh. Gotta get a 15. 14. I'm rolling poorly tonight. You don't recognize any of the objects on the bedroll, so you ask Raja what they might be. Just odds and ends for the journey ahead, she says as she puts away the rope and the vials. She then moves to pack the smaller blue crystals into a bandolier that seems made for that purpose. You also ask what they are. These are none of your concern, she says. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm hungry. Jeez. She throws her pack over her shoulder instead of leaving it by her bedroll and walks toward one of the lit campfires to join the crew members there. Alright, I guess that means Gaigar. Sorry, Fawcett. It's gotta happen. Gaigar is one of the few people not in a bedroll on the ground. He seems to be living quite luxuriously in the back of one of these wagons. He even has a makeshift bookcase made out of stacked crates and a table bolted into the frame. He's reading as you approach, but he sets aside the book when you draw near. Ah, adventurer, he says. What a delight! Quite the to-do with the lizard folk, eh? Well, never mind all that. Come, take a look at this. He waves you into the wagon. There is even a little folding set of stairs leading up to his rolling office. Once you climb up, he passes you the book he was pursuing. You see that it's his own notebook, including scraps of paper from other documents. The scrap he's pointing to has lines of glyphs running down the paper alongside some sketches of odd-looking animals. Is there pictures? No pictures. All right. History check. History check. History. Alphabetically. Come on. I got nothing. Unfortunately, you can't read any of Geiger's notes either, and tell him so. Ah, well, he says, it was worth a try though, eh? You get up to leave, but Geiger stops you and flips through his notes with a stubby finger. Ah, he scolds. Or, he scolds. You have not been dismissed. Look here. See these symbols? They mean Zeleth, as in the ancient civilization. So, while I don't yet understand these new symbols, we know that the answers will be in this book. Looking at the symbols, you find it hard to see past his fingertip covering the word. But not that you could read it anyway. All right, now you are dismissed, Geiger says with a wide smile. Ta-ta for now. He returns to trying to decipher the ancient writings in his book. You continue on with the start of your evening. All right, I've talked to everybody. Going in to sleep. The sky is beginning to darken, and it's time to find a place for the night. But the hot weather has begun to take its toll. You check your water supply and see that you've just got a couple of mouthfuls left. You'll need to refill soon, especially in the sweltering heat. Based on the humidity, you don't expect it to cool off much at night. A small stream burbles along beside the clearing where your expedition made camp, and you've seen barrels of fresh water that have been unloaded from the wagons. I'm going to try the stream. From a distance, the stream seems to burble and slop merrily along the jungle floor. Up close, the smell hits you like a war hammer. The water is brownish green and stinks of rot and worse. It's definitely not drinkable, but something is sustaining the lushness around you. The wildlife nearby must drink it. Ahaha. I have a thing. Once per day, you may sprinkle this salt on up to 5 pounds of food to gain the effects of the spell Purify Food and Drink. You can use this item to gain a +1 on any skill check to prepare food. Alright, I'm going to use this on Sanctifying Salt in my water. You can cast a spell over the water and look at it swirling liquid. Though the fetid murkiness recedes for a moment, it blooms in the clear water again almost immediately. It still has the same stink as when it came from the stream. I'm going to try it now. Well, I gotta try. It didn't work. No. You take a sip of water, and the vileness of it nearly overwhelms you. You struggle against it. Take a con save to resist. Let's see what I got. Got less than 12. Almost as soon as the water hits your tongue, you are brought to your knees with a dizzying, feverish weakness. You double over on the soggy ground next to the stream and vomit up everything you've eaten in what seems like the last week. With blurry eyes and buzzing ears, you drop to your side and shake violently for what feels like a very long time. Eventually, several pairs of hands help you get upright. "Here, here," says a high-pitched voice. Your eyes flutter open to a female gnome holding a tin cup to your lips. Drink a gulp of clean water from the cup. "You gonna make it?" Your body nearly rejects the water, but you manage to just barely hold it down. You sit up to find two of the wagon drivers holding you up. With a nod, you tell them you'll live, but feel terrible. "I am poisoned until my next long rest." After your long rest, con save of 12. If I pass, you recover, but if you fail, you're still poisoned until your following long rest. Oh my goodness. Glad I got one of those antitoxins. It's a what check? Con of 12. The Burley Expedition wagon drivers help you up and back to camp. "Yeah, you'll be fine," one of them says. "Come on, you won't be doing that again, I bet. Let's get you some clean water." By the time you reach camp, you're no longer being held up, but still feel brutally sick. But at least there's water in the barrels. You dip your water skin into the barrel to fill it up with fresh water. Taking a pull, you realize that, while the water is warmer than some baths you've had, at least it's clean and quenches your thirst. As you drink your fill, Raja joins you with her own canteen. "I see you found the safe water," she says. "This jungle doesn't have a name, but it has more ways to kill you than you can count. But the water is the first." She takes a drink and offers you a crooked smile. "Tomorrow morning, I'm sure we'll find a few more." She continues with the same smile. "Good night." Oh, conditions. Poison. She turns toward one of the fires getting started, and you go find your own spot, despite the noise of a few crew members enjoying the nightcap and equally active mosquitoes buzzing in your ears. Your tiredness quickly overcomes you. You wake up with the sun and a nudge of Raja's boot. It's rained overnight, which has dried somewhat to leave just a slight dampness to your clothes and a near certainty of leeches in your boots. Still, you had a decent night's rest. A long rest. Alright, then I make a con save. 12 or more. I am no longer poisoned. Alright. Benefits of a long rest. Crystals of Zeleth. "Let's go," she says and tosses you a packet of rations. "Eat on the trail." The two of you pass through the camp, which is just starting to rise and pack to move out for the day, and go on to scout the way ahead. uh, converse, quietly observe together, or split up to sneak through the jungle. It's morning. I'm a little hungover. I'm just going to quietly observe my surroundings. You and Raja walk in silence, though she seems to prefer it that way. You both scan the trees on either side of the jungle closest equivalent to a road. The wide path you're on is at least passable with the wagons. But Raja catches your eye with a nod, then hooks a thumb toward the trees. You nod back, and you push your way into the thick undergrowth with her. Survival check. Ten or more. I just need a 10 or more. There we go. Just need a long rest, and then I'm good to go. Looking around, you see that this unnamed jungle is extraordinarily thick, but despite the fact it does not appear to be healthy growth, a palpable corruption hangs in the air, a heady mixture of sickly sweet overabundance with a thick undertone of rot. Tree trunks twist and bend as if avoiding the light. The vines that you'd normally expect to be hanging from the canopy loop around trees in a strangling grip. An unidentifiable mass of fur and rotting flesh is bound to the ground at one point, held in a mass of thorny growth you've never seen before that sprouts jagged flowers the color of blood. Even the birds seem to be different. You hear no birdsong, none of the tweets or trills you'd expect in such dense vegetation. There are only sharp caws and almost human shrieks of creatures somewhere up in the canopy. Everything you see lives without thriving. There seems to be a source to the corruption, though it's as subtle as the direction of a twisted tree or a silent increase in the number of red flowers on their victim. Everything points to the northeast. Yeah, I don't think you have the best viewers. Take that. Um, it's unclear if Raja sees the same thing you do, but she also seems to glance to the northeast at least once. Perception. I perceive things. 16 is lower than 18. If you get 8 or higher, go to 18. Oh, doy. As you're looking around, you see long serpentine form in the branches overhead just before it drops toward you. Yeah. I'm guessing you guys are rolling out. Oh, I just didn't see Fawcett. Yes, have a good one. I'll be over there in a few. After I am probably about to get attacked. Oops. Dexterity save. '21 beats 8. The scaly form that drops out of the canopy above nearly misses you, but it doesn't stop there. A pair of snake heads dart out from the quickly uncoiling mass. They hiss and snap at you with rows of sharp teeth. You dance back just out of reach and ready yourself for a fight. Let's see, is that it? Is that the battle? We're no longer in Oki Island. Now we're at Crystals of Zala. 66. Alright, let's do it. The massive two-headed serpents, erratic weaving and coiling, make it almost impossible to escape. Kill it! Rigel calls out, wrestling with the forked tail of the creature, leaving you free to deal with the business end. For this fight, the constrictor cannot move to pursue you, and it cannot constrict you. You have initiative and get to act first. Sweet. Crystals of Zaleth. Oh, you guys are still looking at the Wolves of Langston. Oops. Alright, here we go. 66. Corrupted Constrictor. Big. And then I am on that X. It's right next to me. Alright, Corrupted Constrictor Snake. I get advantage, or I get initiative. Stop popping out. My goodness, close window. Did it close? Closed. Where's my music? Come on, technology. It vanished. Alright, I'll have to refresh. We're gonna refresh. As soon as I fix my screen. My goodness. Alright, here we go. Alright, we're refreshed. Ambience music goes away. Battle track. Battle track. There we go. Alright. I get to go first, and I'm gonna first start with my ceremonial dagger to attack. .26 will hit, that's for sure. Seven damage. Then I will use a key. Whoa! Did not take 77. I will use my key point to do a flurry of blows. 2 unarmed strikes. .21's a hit. Another 7 damage, it goes down, but I'm going to finish it off with another punch. Okay, the third punch misses. So I deal 7. Though there is no sign of venomous fangs, its several rows of sharp teeth will do enough damage to put you down for a killing embrace. It'll fight you to the death. If the snake drops to 0 HP, go to 51. You finally put the snake down? I mean, It was round one. Stop it. All right. Close this little window. Keeps popping up. You finally put the enormous snake down. It spasms one last time, both heads flopping, and then lie still. You and Raja stand at either end of the defeated monster, catching your breath. I mean, you were fighting a tail, Raja. I don't know why you're... We need to bring this back to camp, Raja says, through gulps of air. Maybe Geigar can make sense of it. You nod. There are a couple of ways you can think of to deal with the surprisingly large creature. I think we should dissect... No, I feel like I would just try to carry the whole thing. Alright, let's bring it. You and Raja haul the snake up onto your shoulders and start to trek back the way you came. Athletics check. Skills. Oh, there we go. Get a 14 or more. Great. Though it's a challenge full of muttering and a fair bit of cursing when you trip and fall into a patch of thorny plant growth, you manage to haul the snake back to camp. When you arrive with it, Raja yells Geigar's name till he emerges from his wagon, rubbing his eyes. You can't tell if he's been reading or napping, but when he sees the dead snake, he grins like a schoolboy who's been told class is canceled. Oh, wonderful! Oh, just wonderful, he says. Come on, come. Bring it into the wagon. I'll cut into it while it's fresh. You and Raja drop the snake in loops over the work table in the wagon. Geigar searches through a chest and removes a case of ominous-looking surgical tools. This will take some doing, so if you'll excuse me, he says, and you make your way out of the wagon. When Raja stays, the orc looks to her. You too, Raja. I'll need to concentrate. She hesitates for a moment, and follows you out the door, eager to learn about the scholar's findings when he's finished with the specimen. You've eaten, and the sun has set by the time Geigar emerges from his wagon. He finds you with a sheepish smile, but he has little to add to your findings. Your work today was exemplary, adventurer, he says. Really, couldn't have done it better myself, and I have nothing to add. But look here. He produces the same rolled leather case containing the map you delivered to the expedition yesterday. Geigar hands you the map that you delivered. It's untidily sticking out of its case, and it seems like there are some new creases in the document when you unfurl it. The map seems to have been passed through many hands, each person leaving a note or an addition. Investigation check. Really good at those. I'm going to do it at advantage. Oh, I didn't even... Every time I use it, I don't need to. There's my inspiration item. I used it. If you get 10 or more, go to 96. The notes scrawled across the map are worse than useless. They all contradict one another, all wrong paths to the supposed location of Zeleth. However, There are a variety of shapes that represent what appears to be hazards. Looking closely, they appear to be abnormal animals of some kind. There's a bird with a lizard's tail, frogs covered in sharp spines, and even more clearly another two-headed snake. These seem to increase in density as they approach an empty space on the map. We're here. We're here, Raja says as she plants a finger on the map. The increasing density of the mutant encounter seems to be to the northeast of your position. There are other notes to the south and the west that indicate questions, or places that other explorers might have tried. However, you are moving away from both of these. You ask Raja and Geiger why. Both are already thoroughly explored, I'm afraid, says Geiger, with an exaggerated sigh. At great cost to the expeditions, Raja adds, and no closer to Zalath. You point out the pattern on, and both Raja and Geiger lean in. Let's get our guide out for this, Raja says and leaves to get Zakah. Raja returns with your lizardfolk guide, though neither appears to be in a hurry. Thanks for coming, lad, Geiger says. You could be of great service. Zakah nods and looks at the map proffered to him. He cocks his head as he concentrates on it, but doesn't touch it or make a sound. To the cold wind, Zakah says finally. To the sun's beginning. Geiger looks to you and then Raja. What is he saying, my dear? Zakah snarls another phrase in his own language, pointing at the sky. And you're sure? Raja asks. Zakah points at the sky again and then to the northeast. But then he points at Raja and growls something else. She nods. And? Geiger says. Any thoughts from our scaly friend here? Northeast, Raja says without breaking eye contact with Zakah. We should look to the northeast. Brilliant, Geiger grins at all of you. We're close. I can feel it. Let's ready ourselves for adventure. Geiger retrieves the map from you and retires to his wagon for the night. And you're about to go find another spot next to the smoky fire. Get full night's rest. Instead, you feel a strong clawed hand on your shoulder. Not sleep, Zakah says, beckoning. Come, see. You follow him to what you can assume is where he sleeps. He doesn't have a bedroll. He's cold-blooded after all. But he scratched a flat area of disturbed earth to lie down on. The stone tablet is propping up against a wagon wheel nearby. Show you, the lizard folk says. Great wisdom. Old things. Things in dark know us. We not know them. This is best. Zakah gestures you towards his tablet. He starts tapping and reciting what he taps. It's a complex text so foreign to you that you can't even tell where one word begins and another ends. However, it also includes carved images of lizard folk in ceremonial dress and wielding crystals. But still, there's little to indicate where the city might be. Warrior, Zakah says, patting his chest. Guide, protector. He then lightly passes a hand over the tiny figures. People. So many people before. You ask him where they are now, but Zakah just looks up at you and stares. Turning back to the tablet, you can either try to recall what you know about the history of the region or on insights. History or insights? I think insights is my go-to. Yeah. Though you're not confident in your knowledge on the subject, there are clear indications of a civilized society here. There must be insights in this depiction that you can identify. Insight check. 17 is higher than 15. Though you don't recognize anything on the tablet, you are able to surmise that this is an advanced civilization with access to a great power. The power seems to be housed in crystals, which would likely grow underground more easily than above ground. Zakah nods sagely. Very big, very under. Zakah go. Take you. You nod and thank Zakah for showing you his tablet. He bids you a polite, if strangely chilly, good night, as he turns away from you to settle into his patch of softened earth to recite from his tablet. Strangely soothing, the hissing mantra makes you drowsy as well. You return to your own bedroll by the smoking fire and hope for a good night's rest. Gain the benefits of a long rest, and I think that's a good place to stop. Take a long rest. And with that, we're calling it a night. I'm going to go hop over, do a, let's see if I can figure out how to do this again. A raid. Not that there's anybody in here, is there? Nope. Oh. Game over, man. Game over. I'm gonna try to raid. Alright, I'm gonna go by Twitch stream here. Pull that off of there. You're not staring at what I'm not supposed to share. We're gonna go, right now, Fawcett, who was in the chat earlier, is now streaming another one shot. So we're just gonna go harass them. I can find them. See, did it already do it? Oh, there's the button. Raid.
From what I let's just say, see what it said. That a solo adventure of swashbuckling exploration. character after we get a setting.
All right, and we'll also see if I found a narrator voice or if my narrator voice is just me.
It's going to be the same as it's always been.
I've had different voices of the narrator.
Have you?
Yeah, like last time I was kind of doing that somewhat half poor British accent, and
Oh, I thought that
for
was
the
just
story,
baseline.
I feel like for the adventure before that, I was just my voice.
Okay. So,
Okay.
are you going to be a pirate this time? Don't be a pirate this time.
Like some of the characters will be pirates, but
Say
no.
R before every sentence like Nerdy says.
Oh gosh. R. People are crammed into the streets of Port Plenty like fat sardines.
I'm a fat
R.
sardine. I think you're finding your flow. I think you're getting there, Jaded.
I was not prepared for your comment. Oh, okay. So people are crammed in the streets of Port Plenty like fat sardines. Thieves are slipping in and out